Yo, what's good? It's your boy Druid. Today we're coming in on a very sobering note. Today I'm gonna, shed some light about the near-death experience I just went through and how it's really impacted my life, my cannabis use, my approach to life now, and content and everything else. So I'm just gonna riff for a bit and explain, what the fuck's been up, why I haven't had any content lately. So to dive into some lore, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes the week before my senior year of high school. I was very fortunate to have great care at the school that I went to my senior year of high school, because it was a boarding school and there was a nurse and she happened to be super knowledgeable, helped hook me up with a great doctor that was local in the area, and I still see her to this day. I have an appointment coming up, and essentially diabetes, it's like considered an autoimmune disease, so it's a little harder to get over stuff, right? So I had been in this kind of toxic work environment since August, right? And I self-medicated with food, especially once I was living on my own. I'll get into that in a second, but essentially the combination of just, going and getting ice cream every day, because that was the only thing that really consoled me, on top of like getting a sinus infection right after, when you don't take care of your health physically, it's really hard to just get over shit. And diabetes even more. So 2 weeks ago I got a sinus infection, and I just didn't really treat it because I had to work, and that was that. You gotta pay your bills, right? You gotta buy weed somewhere. So I was, just going to work, and then I just got so sick I couldn't do anything, and so I went to urgent care, and I wasn't aware that diabetics, when administered steroids, which is the typical treatment for a sinus infection or bronchitis or whatever the fuck I actually had, it just threw my blood sugar obscenely out of whack, raised it disgustingly high, and shortly after ended up in the hospital because of that. When I kind of was coming to, the doctor started telling me the condition that I was in when I arrived. I was less than 24 hours from a coma, and if I hadn't gotten picked up and taken to the ICU, I would have died over the weekend. And just the realness of that just set everything so hardcore into perspective. And the disconnect by getting just to literally come from barely being able to stay awake because I'm so dehydrated, my bones are showing, and I cannot speak or think properly because my blood sugar is 600. Bro, my A1C was 14 when I was admitted. That's not normal. That's exponentially almost unheard of. I really should have died. And so thank God I'm here, right? Whatever God means, it just really made me want to take care of myself for the first time in my life, which is kind of embarrassing, or which is vulnerable for me to say. And I want to just take everything to a high standard, I don't want to just take care of my physical health and my mental health. I want to pursue, going back to school and getting better at this YouTube stuff and just being a better entertainer overall. Just living my best life. And I think, almost dying really gives you that fire and that ambition. It's obvious, I'm very green to the cannabis industry. I was raised in a very sheltered, Christian, typical Bible Belt kind of situation, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble, which I, credit I graduated in 23, so if I was popping Zans my whole high school experience, I would have OD'd, no questions, like, at all. I would never have considered that, like, you know, my homie would have handed me a fake pill. Never would have crossed my mind. I would have 130% OD, 420% OD. And to segue into that, I didn't start consistently smoking weed until my senior year of high school. And because, like, I was aware of it and I really wanted it, like, my whole life, really, just being drawn towards intoxication and just feeling like my mind was, like, racing all the time and thinking that, like, I just needed something to calm me down, and I couldn't keep escaping into books forever just because life gets more intense and it's hard to just keep shoveling shit behind you, you know? Eventually you have to deal with your problems. And that's honestly the biggest lesson cannabis has ever taught me. By abusing cannabis, technically, I kind of understand now, like, what it takes to survive and what it takes to be someone that people want to be around, and that, you know, someone that is interested in taking care of themselves. My relationship towards weed has changed a lot. I mentally, like, I don't want to be dependent. To be completely clear and just, like, I'm unashamed of smoking, and, like, I love it. Like, it can be such a great thing. I'm an artist. I spent my whole life doing music and performing arts, so the social aspect is so much fun. But at the same time, if it impacts your life negatively, you need to reconsider the implications. And, like, I realize, like, weed just makes you not care about shit. Like, just to be completely vulnerable, I was living in a storage unit until I got admitted, right, to the hospital, and then I got discharged, like, a week ago. I got discharged 3 days ago. So, yeah, like, no plumbing. Like, I was content, like, to be in a storage unit and just smoke weed. Like, that was the only caveat that kept me from staying at home with my parents and just working and saving my money. Is it important to be independent and learn how to take care of yourself? Abso-fucking-lutely. But if you're going to, like, allow your life just to, like, go to shambles and just to really just be content to self-destruct, I think, like, you maybe should, like, rethink, like, the vehicle that you use marijuana to, like, satiate. I think, like, it's a great creative tool. It's a great way to, you know, just take off the edge. It's not physically addictive. It is kind of mentally addicting if you're that kind of person. I find that I fiend for it. I remember being in the hospital and I hadn't been high for 5 days, right? And I was cold sweating because I just needed a little bit of green in me, right? And I just think that like, instinct isn't healthy. I think everything in moderation is, you know, it's really your choice at the end of the day. I'm not gonna tell you to smoke crystal meth. If you've seen Breaking Bad, you'd be very lucky to end up as Jesse Pinkman, I'd say, you know? So, after all of that rambling, just to come to a conclusion, am I going to stop smoking weed? In the near future? No. I cannot see that happening. I like weed a lot. I'm a daily smoker. I think now that, like, there's products like Only Gas and Base Smokes, all these different cannabis retailers that ship THCA legally, and it's this good, clean product that you don't have to be concerned about coming from a smoke shop. That, you know, it could be an Altanoid or honestly, who knows what kind of filler shit. Like, it could be anything. And I find that really terrifying, but at the same time, it's your choice at the end of the day. I learned today, I was listening to Joe Rogan talk to Bert Kreischer, and Bert said something really fascinating to me that, like, really shocked me, saying that Xanax is the leading cause of depression. When you hear things that are so real, like that, it just makes you like, hold on, what do I really care about? And so for me, like, I care about this YouTube channel. I love content making. I love, you know, the channel, and I love all of anyone that's watching. Like, y'all are the best. My heart goes out to you if you're struggling with anything. Like, I'm here for you. This channel is really just to showcase, like, the impact that substances have upon your life when you haven't had experience with that before, and when you have, like, that pretty common strict parent kind of thing. So, you know, I hope there's something helpful you can take away from this. I hope y'all stay safe. We'll see where we go from here. Y'all are awesome. Love y'all so much.